There.
Oh, really?
I got it. It's starting to, it's recording now. So, so one thing, you
Thanks.
guys, is when you create this shape, okay, then I just clicked on these 3 dots right here, and I come down here, and here's my hyperlink. Now you're going to link absolutely everything that you're going to put on this slide. This is the trick, okay? This is the whole trick with how kids will not click on something and it'll advance to something else. You hyperlink this object to that slide. So now, if I go into presentation mode, you'll see that, how that switched to a finger from an arrow? And if I click on that, it's not going to advance anywhere. And that's really helpful because you have this palette now that's a backdrop that will prevent the student from being able to use this very, very dangerous toolbar down here. You don't want them using this.
Or move forward by accident.
So, sorry. So the next thing, guys, is that what I did, this is another cool kind of fun thing that you can do if you're design oriented, is I added that photo, and I'm going to show you how I did that. So we're going to be studying geography, and that's why I chose to put Machu Picchu. The way that I did that, again, is just insert an image, and that's inserting an image that I'm just looking at on the web. So bam, I hit that. I find this really beautiful picture of Machu Picchu, and that will, sorry, I'm gonna scroll down here, hold on. It should just do it. Okay, there we go. Now I'll just format that to fit the page. Okay, whatever works for you. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna right click on this image. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to format options. I could keep this thing bright and beautiful, but if I tried to type over it, it might be really hard for the kids to start to read stuff. So this is another little trick that I taught myself. I can go to adjustments on format options. Again, that was just a right click down to format options. It takes me to this menu. I go to adjustments, and then I can make it more transparent, okay? And I just did that by toggling this over. You can play with that image however you want to. And now my slide is gonna look like that. So that's how I put that together. Again, what I wanna do with this image is I wanna make sure that I hyperlink it. Again, I'm gonna hyperlink it just to the first slide. So now when I go to the presentation, again, just to reinforce this idea of what's going on, I can click on that picture and click on the backdrop and it's not gonna advance at all, okay?
Andrew,
yeah.
how are you hyperlinking it to the first slide? You're just right clicking on that symbol to the left?
Yeah, let me show that again, Breck, so
Okay.
I'm not going too fast. We only have 1 slide, so let me just start adding 1, 2, there's 5 days in a week. I'll have 5 slides, right? Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back here, and when I wanna hyperlink, I'm gonna click on this. I can right click if I want to. Let's see, hold on. You guys, I'm trying to get the camera out of the way. So I'm gonna click on the hyperlink button right there, Breck, and you're gonna see insert link, okay? And if I wanted to, I can edit this link if I want to, but that when it says slides and presentation, I'll click on where I wanna link it. This is slide number 1 right here. So I'm gonna hyperlink it to itself, okay? And then I apply that. Now, the other thing that I can do at this point is I'm like, oh, I've got this kind of cool template. So what I might want to do is at this point, if I like this and I know that I want the kids to see this on every single slide, is I can just go up here to, first of all, click on the slide or anything on the slide. So I'm clicking on this back shape and I'll go to select all. That'll select all the things I put on the slide so far. I can copy it and then I can paste it to every single one of these slides.
Hey, Chris, you know where our like all of our photos from 2010 are?
Are you
I think they're
asking,
on the other Mac, huh?
are you asking me, Mario?
Oh God, I'm sorry. I'm
Talking to
sorry.
you guys.
I thought I'd muted myself. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Rookie mistake.
That's all right. So you see what I just did? So now this is the other cool thing that I want to show you that's nice about copying and pasting stuff. If I advance through the slides down here, if I go to slide number 2, again, when I click on this with my hand, the cool thing that it does is it won't take me back to slide 1. It'll memorize those hyperlinks for you. So you don't have to like relink up everything again for all these slides. It does that for you automatically. The next thing that I'd like to show you is I'd like to show you, if we go back to my other slide here, just to show you again. So we're kind of working our way up here. You'll see there's these little buttons, right, that I created, these little pads. And that's, again, just using shapes and hyperlinks so that when I click on Monday, it'll take us to the Monday plan. So going back to this presentation, the way that I do that, again, is just very straightforward. I take a shape, and just for the sake of efficiency, I'll show you another thing. So there's my shape. You can keep the fill color white if you want to. I just changed the color a little bit, maybe to make it a little bit nicer. Another thing that I did to make it kind of look shiny and stuff is you can go to gradient, and then you can get these nice kind of shiny buttons. Those are all just design ideas for anything that you think will be of interest to you. That is all fill color stuff. I like to put borders on mine that are really clear. So when we take this off, you guys can see it's a really clear button for kids to see. And then you can just type inside this like it's a text box, okay? So I can type in here Monday. Now that looks pretty janky and lame. So I'm gonna change the font. One font that I like is Open Sans, and I'll make that semi-bold. These are all just aesthetic choices that I'm making for myself. Another thing is I'm gonna center that so I know that it's centered. I might change the font color so it jumps out a little bit more, okay? And now I've got my button. Now the question is, what do I wanna do with this thing? I'm gonna wanna link this now to another slide. So if slide number 2 over here is gonna be my Monday slide, I just click on this, I hit link, and then for slides in the presentation, it'll take me to slide number 2. Just to show you guys that step again, I'm gonna click on the whole shape. Make sure you're not clicking on the text, because then it'll just link the text and it'll put this really janky link in the middle of it. I've had to learn that a million times. Just click on the shape, hyperlink, go to the slide, take it to slide number 2. Just to make sure that that worked, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little text box in here that says, we made it, okay? And I'll bounce that out so it's a little bit more pronounced. Okay? So to show you how this is gonna work now, when I go to present mode, I've got my nice little button here, and I'm gonna press it, and it'll link directly to that next slide, okay? And in that way, what you're doing is you're controlling the flow in a much more deliberate way for kids, in a way that makes sense to them. So that's the advantage of the hyperdoc. When you get back to the bigger presentation again, I have now stuff. So I have something for Monday. And then in Monday, what I did using these buttons is, you guys can see I'm starting to put together activities. I want to take you guys into this because this thing has actually not all internal links, but it has external links. But if anyone has any questions, again, about how to make internal links, Is everyone cool with that? Does anyone need any clarification on any of that? All right, go ahead and just speak up, and I'll be happy to help you. So for example, when we get to this, hold on just a minute here, folks. Oh, no, don't do that. So coming back to this day, so this is Monday, and I've made some design, some learning ideas here. I want to make sure I've got the date up there so I can direct the kids to the date. I'm thinking I might have a goal for the day. I just bolded those words so we might have a discussion about that. But one of the things I want to show you guys right now is, let's see, I'm a little frustrated here. Let me do something. I'm going to do a little quick edit, because what I'm noticing is I've got this, see how I've got the arrow right there, and I don't like that. Come on, man, escape. There we go. So I'm going to check these, and those links should be working. Okay, so let me go back here, because what I want to show you guys right now is external links. This is a really important thing. My home consultant, who also happens to be my wife, who taught synchronously last year and was using hyperdocs, shared with me something that's important. So I'm going to have my kids do some mindfulness meditation every single day. And on the first week that we do this, I'm going to have them watch a video. Again, same concept. But when we click to watch this video, notice it takes us to an external link, right? Now we're off the PowerPoint. And this is this cute little video that Adam Dennis actually uses in his mindfulness trainings at November PD. So this is a great little video, but now the kids are like completely detached from the PowerPoint. And how do they get back, right? There's no way I can put any link on YouTube to get them back. And so one of the things about hyperdocs that's tricky is we also have to teach our kids the skill of toggling through tabs up here on external links. So once we're done with the video, you're going to want to redirect the kids back to the presentation. Okay.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So in my scenario, you're sharing this screen.
Yep.
In Zoom.
Yeah.
So would it, I guess aren't you controlling this? Like, wouldn't you just be able to toggle back?
Okay, so good question, Rosie. So actually not. I'm going to post this on Google Classroom, and I'm going to put this in the stream. I'm not going to put this in my classwork tab. This is the stream that's the hyperdoc, that's the plan for the week, okay? Like we were talking about yesterday when we were talking about using Google Classroom. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be right here, just like we're all together, and I'm going to say, okay, everyone, click to watch the video, okay? And then they will click on that to watch the video. I can click on that as well, right? But hold on, I'm getting lost in my thought here, because your question's a really good one in terms of conceptualization of how this benefits kids at all. So wait, I lost my train of thought. Give me a moment to piece this all together.
Well, isn't this hyperdoc being used for kids when they're not actually interacting with you? They can access the hyperdoc and move through it. And so they have to learn how to toggle between it, because you're not going to actually be doing this synchronously, right? That's
right. I can use it as a synchronous tool, or I can use it as an asynchronous tool. And I think Rosie's question is, if this is synchronous, won't you just be like clicking through all this stuff? I know a good way to do this, Rosie. So one thing is, I want them to have access to this, for example, when there's an in-class assignment, okay? So for example, one of the things that I'm gonna have them do is I'm gonna have them do this journal assignment. This takes them to an external link, right? And they're gonna have to read through this. And at this point, I would be like, you guys, we're gonna turn off our video, we're gonna mute, and I want you to take 25 minutes to do this assignment. So go there, do this assignment, and I'll be back with you in 25 minutes. Does that make sense, Rosie?
Yeah, no, I think it totally makes sense. I guess like, and I, you know, I guess I just, yeah, it makes sense. I'm
So
just,
that's, so
I
by
have-
having, sorry, by having this here on the hyperdoc, it's a lot easier than me screen sharing with them. Okay, everyone, go into Google Classroom, click on Taskworks or classwork, go to the topic, which is this week. It's the third assignment down. This just gives them a quick button to get to it.
I
So it's,
completely agree.
does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I'm freaking out.
Okay. Well,
So-
I can give you more help, but the idea is this just provides a home base for Monday. Think of it that way. So when I meet my kids at the beginning, some of these things we'll be doing synchronously. I know we're going to do stretch and breathe synchronously, but then I'm going to be like, okay, everyone, that was awesome. Everyone feels like they had equilibrium. Let's go to the wellness survey. Please now, everyone, because everyone will have access to this, click on activity 2, and they'll go to this thing. And I'll say, let's turn off our video, let's mute ourselves, and please take some time right now to go through and do the well-being survey. I'll see you guys in 10 minutes. And I just chill and wait. Then another thing that I can do is I can also, then we can look at the responses together or whatever. And then I'm like, okay, let's go back to Monday. Let's go to our thing today. The next thing we're going to do, guys, is we're going to work on our journal. Let's all open that together, read it together. You understand what I'm saying? This is just giving a visual guide for them to get through that stuff. So they're not like, where do I find it?
It makes so much sense. And especially if a kid misses a day, you just tell them, hit the 4 buttons in a row and do everything that the 4 buttons tell you to do. Like, it makes so much sense.
And if they get, this is just, again, it's just a graphic organizer, really, right? And if they get lost, of course, all the assignments will be on Google Classroom, but this just provides a nice a nice plan for the week. There's another benefit to this whole entire thing, which is if there is an expectation, and it sounds like there's an expectation, we have a mandate to figure out how are we going to organize our topics in Google Classroom. Are we going to organize them as weekly topics or units or novels? And we were having that discussion. I mean, and we still need to have, this is a conversation, Rosie, I'm talking to you directly about whether or not we want to do this weekly. And so if we're going to organize our topics weekly, one thing that's awesome in a PLC is you can be like, hey, you guys, let's all make this the template for our hyperdoc, right? And then we can all use this, and I can share this with you dudes, and then we can use this every single week. We design it once well, and then maybe we realize, okay, maybe we don't want to have Machu Picchu anymore because we're studying Africa. Let's change the back image on the thing, but that's a quick fix. And this is something that maybe can be shared among colleagues as you're planning out your week. The other thing I kind of like about this that's an advantage is that already as I was building this hyperdoc, I was trying to think to myself, what the hell am I going to have the kids do on Monday? You know? And once they're done with that, what are they doing on Tuesday? You know, well, and then I started to realize, oh, well, we're going to do this every single day, right? So these are going to be 3 activities that are really important. I'll get a good sense of the time and the flow, and then I can know how much time we have for activity 4. But because we're teaching 5 days a week, which is new for a lot of us, it certainly is for me, this is another way that's really helpful for me to kind of plan things through. I'm realizing that's a happy surprise, okay? Any other questions about purpose? Because I want to go back a little bit to form and function stuff as you're building this thing.
Can I ask a quick question, Andrew?
Yeah, go ahead.
So my first is just a quick question regarding your slides. It looks like, is your home button just something you created in that same sort of internal hyperlink thing where you put the graphic of the home there?
Yeah.
it back to that first slide, and that's all something you just did using that exact same format you just taught us?
Exactly. So I went to images because
Yeah.
I actually found an extension, Alyssa, where you can find all those cool little icons. And the district wouldn't let me add that extension. I don't know why. But anyway, all I did is I went to search the web. I put
Found like
in
a beta home.
home icon, and I inserted it in there, and I shrunk it down to size, hyperlinked it, and then just used it again and again and again and again through the presentation.
And you probably just copied it, like
Yeah, totally.
yeah.
So
Okay,
that's
and
the
then-
next thing I want to show you. Oh, sorry, go
Just,
ahead.
I have a quick question or statement. You were talking about kids having to learn to toggle between tabs. That's obviously something we're going to have to teach them.
Yeah.
To minimize that in some situations, I think, I'm not entirely sure, but I think you can embed videos, YouTube videos,
Yeah, you could.
in a slide. So if you
Yeah,
want to try
that's
to
true.
minimize that with your class and their tab
Or
challenge.
if you're using Zoom in the stream, right?
Yeah, that's true. So both those things are possibilities. Like, for example, so I go to this slide. Rather than making this an external link, I could just make a whole nother page and then just put the video on there and it would stay internal. That's a really good point. And
Hey, I have
again,
a question as well.
yeah,
So can you go to that Monday page
yeah. Oh, of this one?
of the real one?
Yeah,
All right.
boom.
Yeah. So with activity 3, you have them do this journal.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned you want to keep all this on the stream just so that it simplifies all that. Where are they going to put that journal if it's not posted as an assignment?
So when they're done, all right, no, it will be posted as an assignment. Okay, so when they're done, this just gives them an opportunity to link to it. When they're done with that, they are going to have to turn it in on Google Classroom, and there will definitely be a spot under classwork under this week where they'll see journal, and they'll turn it in like they've always turned in assignments. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
One question too, Andrew. So
Yeah.
pertaining a bit to Rosie's, I think I understand it. I'm just clarifying. When you're going to have them click on things, they're doing that just completely separate from you on their own computer screen for Google Classroom. So they're just sort of making.
Oh, Tony, I lost you. You got muted for some reason.
Sorry, I took my finger off the space bar.
Oh.
So they're doing it on their own, based on the side essentially, and that's why they need to know how to toggle. You're not directing that. You're just basically telling them, go do this.
Right. That's the idea. And I've never done it before, just like y'all. So we'll see how it goes and we'll see how the flow goes. Again, I just like the idea that we've got some home base here that's a graphic organizer for the day that will sort of guide them through what we're going to be doing, rather than me just talking at them in a screen and being like, okay, now go open up your Google Classroom. Are you all there? Find this assignment. And then I have to say it verbally 6 times and put it in the chat. This will just kind of make the flow of things work better. I hope.
When you were asking us for thumbs up, because the presenters have been doing this, like, I'm assuming your screen looks different from ours, where I see your presentation and only 4 video, icons.
Yeah, so what I see right now, I mean, I can go, I've got you guys on grid view and a small grid up in the corner, and then I've got my full screen here. I do want to go back to this one thing though, just a design trick. If you guys are playing around with this, I hope you're realizing anything, and I think this is a really good strategy. I just copied this, and for the sake of uniformity, I'm just now doing Control V. If I know I need 6 buttons for 6 activities, I can now take all those and start to organize them in any way that I did, but all the shapes are the same and all the fonts are the same. And I don't have to just keep creating these things organically. And now I've got all of this stuff organized around here, and I can go back in here really quick and I can be like, oh, there's my Tuesday. And and it makes it go a lot faster, right? And then if I want to link this, that's already linked to slide 2. If I want to link this now to slide 3, I'm going to edit the link. I just click the X here, hit that, and now I can link it to any slide that I want to. And so slide number 4 is my Wednesday slide. Again, I'll just, I'll make that my Wednesday slide. One last thing about this. Right now, you guys are noticing, like, I want to put a title on this thing, and the format that I chose for this slide was, if we look at the layout, was this one. So where did, or sorry, oops, slide, layout. I wanted the title one, and now the title's gone. Another trick is the order of things, and this you can't do on Google Docs, but you can do on Google Slides that I think is really awesome. Always send all the stuff that's just background stuff to the back. So make sure you, when you put that blue rectangle on there, go to order, which is just, again, I'll show you again. I right-clicked, and then I go to order, and then I send it to the back. Now you'll notice I've got this title, right? And now that's up in the front, and I go boom, and now I'm gonna start writing here Wednesday. But this interesting thing happens. See how it's kind of fading out right there? That's because this picture is still a little bit on top of it, right? So the only thing I need to do with that, again, if I want all this stuff to be on the front, I'm just gonna right click, go to order, I bring it to the front, and now that's at the front. On this slide, for example, these automatically went to the front because they were the last thing that I added. But you wanna make sure that that stuff is always up at the front. The other cool thing is I can take this Wednesday button, right? And I can copy it, or I can cut it if I wanted to, cut, and just, you guys know how to cut. It's all just copying and pasting and doing stuff like that. Oh, whoops, sorry y'all. And I can paste it, and then I've got my button there, and I can move that wherever I want. I can edit the hyperlink, so now that's just gonna stay right there on slide number 4 so that it doesn't move anywhere. So those are the types of things that I'm doing as I'm designing this. One last little trick, which is a design trick if you're interested. One thing that I like to do, and this is again just a design thing, it has nothing to do with function, it just has to do with design, is you notice that when I click to a different slide, or I click to, this is weird, sometimes it's not hyperlinking, I don't know why. There we go. You'll notice that it sort of fades in like that, and everything that I try and do is gonna fade in. And if you don't want things just to make a kind of rapid transition, all I did for that is just did some animation. So I click on the slide, and those little, blue dots show me that I'm there. I select all, everything's now selected, and then I just inserted some animation by going down to the insert animation. The animation thing will slide up, it'll automatically fade in all those things. I could choose a different animation if I wanted to. That's up to you if you want to do this at all. The one last thing about this though, so if you animate everything, you want, again, I can't emphasize this enough, you do not want kids using that bottom black scroll bar because this isn't linear anymore and they'll get totally lost. So it's really important that all of your animation is with the previous, which means that it'll all come in together. You don't want to have them have to click to advance the slide with that black toolbar or things get screwed up. That's just enough. I mean, that's such a small, subtle thing, but you'll see what I mean as you start to build these things. Yeah, Alyssa, you got a question?
question. I'm trying to do this as you're doing it, and I liked how you had the journal activity.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
How do you link it to?
Oh, right. Okay, so let's talk about external links. So with the journal activity, or any activity, let me take activity 4 here, for example, Alyssa. And this will be the last thing I'll do so you guys can get some stretch time in or whatever. Thank you, by the way, for doing this meeting with me. This has been really helpful for me to see. So rather than doing slides in the presentation, I'm just going to paste the link. So I'll go out to some external source like this. I'll grab that link like I just did, just copied it right there, go back here, and then I just paste the link in right there and I apply it. And that'll take me to an external link.
So that is great. I got that. But how about when you have like your actual Google Doc that you want it to link to?
Okay, same thing. So what I did is for the journal activity here, for the hyperlink, if we look at the hyperlink, I went to, oh, wait. That's weird. Okay, it should be linked. I see what the problem is. Give me a moment. Okay, so you can see this Living History Journal Assignment 2020. I just grabbed that out of my Google Drive, and that's another thing that you can do. And again, I just copy and pasted the link, because every Google document will have a link. And then I just stuck it in there, and then my document is up. And you can do that for anything like a PDF, anything like that, and that'll do it.
Cool,
So
I was
it's
overthinking it. Thank you.
Yeah, and so it's kind of fun, and the other thing, like I said, I think one thing that's going to be really helpful is it's already helping me conceptualize like a 5-day week. It's going to be really helpful for me because I can share this with colleagues in my PLC, and I can be like, you guys, this is what I'm doing. They can just view it and go through it. When you put this on Google Classroom, there's one last thing. You're going to want to publish it, okay? And that's something that I haven't quite gotten to yet. And the reason that you want to publish it is so that when kids log into it, they're not going to come into this mess. They're going to come into it as a presentation, okay? So when you publish it to the web, you want to make sure when they click on this in Google Classroom, they're going to see this. They're not going to see the slides workshop.
How do you publish it?
Great question. I'm not sure yet, Rosie, but I will definitely, oh, there you go, publish to the web. Right there on File. You see that there? Under
Yes.
File, go
So
to
you went
Publish to the
File
web.
and publish to the web. Okay.
Why don't we give it a shot? I mean, so make your content visible to anyone by publishing. You can link or embed, learn more, link, blah, blah, blah. So then it's going to get, and then you can publish it. It'll give it a website. Then you can just stick that on Google Classroom and you're rocking.
Tight.
All right, you guys.
Sorry, I missed that last part. So in order to show this to our class, we have to publish it. You can't just like link it like you would a normal.
If you link it,
Gotcha.
the problem, Breck, I think, is that you're going to be stuck with kids coming into this, and then they
Got it.
can, I mean,
yeah, totally.
you
Okay.
could share it, but with view only, but then they have to go to present, and it just
Makes sense.